Say Tov. It's on page 62. Lamed Aleph Lamed Beis. Yeah? What's Perek Kaf Hei about? Perek Kaf Hei is a conclusion of 8 Perakim. The message of these 8 Perakim is that a Yid could use the power of the Pintel Yid in his daily Avodas Hashem. Right? How do you use the power of your Pintel Yid in your daily Avodas Hashem? Remember Mesiras Nefesh. If I'm prepared to die, I'll Kiddush Hashem, not do an Aveda, I can't do any Aveda. Why? Because any Aveda is a Merkava for says the Alter Rebbe, not only can't I do an Aveda, I cannot miss a mitzvah. Because every mitzvah is a Merkava for Pnim Yisrael Tznei V'Chavtzei Amiti. And a missed opportunity to do a mitzvah is the opposite of that. A person would never miss a chance if you motivate, if you mobilize, if you draw from the power of the Pintel Yid, you will never miss a chance to do a mitzvah. And he explains, in case you don't understand, Alter Rebbe explains. To strengthen oneself like a lion, with strength and determination, power of the heart. Against the Yetzer Hara. That what is the Yetzer Hara trying to do? He makes your body heavy. And he disposes upon the person the laziness. The laziness comes from the element of earth in the animal soul, as mentioned in Tanya Perek Aleph. From exerting one's body with quickness, expedience, and alacrity. In all kinds of exertion and the labor of carrying the load in serving God, which requires exertion and toil. And the Yetzer Hara says, have another piece of cake. Sit on the couch and eat another piece of chips. I have a friend who I used to be very involved with. He's moved away, but so he suffered from depression. So his expression that he would coin was a chair episode. When he would get really depressed, I had a chair episode. I said, what's a chair episode? He says, I'm sitting in a chair and I can't get up. I'm too heavy for my own weight, my own body. It's a very deep, unfortunately real inyan. Sometimes the person is pushing heavy and lazy. The Yetzer Hara's tactics are various. He uses taiva, he uses gaiva, he uses kas, and he uses atzvus and atzvus. Laziness and depression are some of his best weapons. Hit the snooze button. Schlaf nach a bisschen. Kigain. For example, lamel b'teira, to toil in teira be'iyon, with delving in concentration. Ubepeh, and with speech. That leipos, leipum, girsa, one's mouth will never stop talking, learning teira. Okmaim, as the Gemara says, le'elam, always. Yosim odim atzmei al divrei teira. A person should apply himself when it comes to learning teira, kesher le'el, like an ox for a yoke, v'kachameh le'maseh, and like a donkey that carries a load. Right? A yoke is different than a load. Animals, shvarim are considered smarter than chamedim. So a person has to be meis and nefesh for teira, and the Yetzer Hara comes along with his excuses and his stories. Let's feel it. The same is true when one davens b'kavana. That b'chol keichei mamish will one strength, and the Yetzer Hara says, don't daven so hard. In the same way when one is serving Hashem in matters that are related to money. For example, Avedas Tzedakah, the labor of giving tzedakah, the Mesiras Nefesh of giving tzedakah. You have an Igeres HaKedesh. I don't know how many Igeres HaKedesh where the Alter Rebbe discusses the inyan from giving tzedakah. But one of them is V'haya Mais HaTzedakah Sholem. He explains different madregas in giving tzedakah. Yeah, there's no time to read about Iches, but there's several madregas. There's Mais HaTzedakah, and then there's Avedas HaTzedakah. It's on page Kufid Zayin in the Tanya. Mais HaTzedakah is one madrega. Avedas HaTzedakah, the whole Igeres HaKedesh base, is explaining the difference from the madrega of Mais HaTzedakah and Avedas HaTzedakah. Avedas HaTzedakah means mamish mesiras nefesh, giving tzedakah beyond your means. And similar types of ideas of the wars of the Yetzer Hara and his schemes. What's his trick? Lekara nefesh adam, to cool off the soul of man. Not to sacrifice his money or his health, and to be lazy. Says the Alter Rebbe, Shalamed Negdei, to stand up to the Yetzer Hara. Ulakaf shoy, and to conquer him. Kodem made the law, it's very near to a person. Kishiyasim alibe, when a person will tell his heart, Shalanatei achayetze, because of Yesim is to defeat the Yetzer Hara to this extent, and to a greater extent. V'las es afoche mamish, and do the exact opposite mamish. Top of page Lamed Beis now. Kalme, it is much lighter and easier. From the suffering of death, God should protect us. It's like the Alter Rebbe, and the suffering of death, God should protect us. A person would accept with love and with will, in order not to be separate from the Eibishter's oneness and unity, even temporarily, to bow down to an idol, God forbid. And like Alter Rebbe said in the end of chapter 19, even to do an act of idol worship that you don't even mean. And a person would sacrifice his life not to temporarily do a superficial act of avodah zarah. Says the Alter Rebbe, how much more so? A person should accept with love and with desire whatever the test of Yiddishkeit is and overcome it. To become attached to the Eibishter in an eternal way. The Hainu, and he explains what he means. When a person does the wishes of Hashem in this particular service, it's one tiny little mitzvah. I gave a shir last night on this Tanya. So one of the rabbis who was present says that the Rebbe once spoke a sikh about a Yid doesn't do any mitzvahs. Doesn't do any mitzvahs. And you do one mitzvah with him. You should know that one mitzvah is a yichud nitzchi. Don't know that. It's forever. It's a real thing. That Yizgalaba, Pnimius, Ratzneelyin, it's going to reveal in it the inner will of the Eibishter. V'bchinas ponim in a countenance type way. V'gilu rav, an abundant revelation. V'lei beheste klal. And there's no concealment at all. U'kishein shum heste ponim b'ratzneelyin. And there's no hiddenness of the face and the will of the Eibishter. So automatically, there's no separation between the Jew and Hashem whatsoever. To be considered separate unto themselves. So at that moment, any Jew, while he's doing a mitzvah, is a merkava for pnimis, and there's beli hest upon him. I explained to you in a previous class, in Chav Gimel, what's the diak of beli hest upon him? When you want to say Hashem is revealed, you don't say Hashem is revealed, say Hashem is not hiding. Why do you say it indirectly rather than directly? Why do you say Hashem is not hiding, as opposed to saying Hashem is revealed? Because the moment you use a positive form, positive can always be more. Good can always be improved upon. So you use a negative form. He's not hidden at all. Not hidden at all doesn't mean he's revealed a little bit. Not hidden at all means he cannot be revealed anymore because he's not at all hidden. The Eibishter is naturally revealed. The world conceals him. When a Yid does a mitzvah, he reveals the natural revelation of the Eibishter. Beli hest upon him. Beli hest upon him means how revealed is Hashem. He cannot be more revealed than he's revealed right now. And therefore, Tehiyana, it will be Nafshe Lekitz V'Achayunis, the godly soul of this person, and the animal soul of this person. Elvashain and the garments of Machshava Dibur Ma'aseh, cool on all of them. Miyuchadis Betachas HaYichud, one with the greatest measure of unity. Baratzne Elyon, with the will of the Eibishter. Ve'eid Ein Seiv Baruch Hu, the infinite light of the Eibishter Keniske, as we discussed before. And what is the nature of this unity, which is achieved through a single solitary mitzvah? Look, the Alter Rebbe as follows. And these following words, the Rebbe must have said over the course of the Nesius 10,000 times, 1,000 times. The Yichud Zelamayla, and this unity, as it takes place above, who Nitzchi is eternal, Elam Vadas forever. Who is Baruch Hu Etzeini L'mayla Mi'azman. Hashem and His wishes are higher than time. V'chein Gilir Etzeini Shebedibure, the revelation of Hashem's will, which is in His spoken word, Shi'atera, which is the Teda. Who Nitzchi is forever. Ukmei Shekasav, as the Pasuk says, Udvara Lekeinu Yakum Li'elam. The words of God stand forever. Udvar of Chayim, his words live, they exist, and so forth. V'layachlif, he's never going to replace. V'layam, he's never going to change. Thus, his religion, forever. These words are quoted from the Yigdal, which we don't say, but Alter Rebbe quotes them. And a mitzvah is a davar nitzchi. It's an eternal thing. It's a forever thing. And since a mitzvah is a davar nitzchi, since a mitzvah is an eternal thing, so when a Yid does a single mitzvah, he's creating something real that's forever. Just like he said on page 62, yesterday's shir, that an Aveda a person doesn't do, even though, why won't a person do an Aveda for a moment? Because there's a level of the neshama, the Eid Avaya Melubash Benefesh, She'eni B'chinas Man V'Shah, and on the level which is L'mayla Me'azman, the Aveda is forever. He says, Al derech a mitzvah, and even more so. A mitzvah is l'mayla me'azman. One Jew does one mitzvah. Anytime you want to get lazy, tell yourself, this is an opportunity to create an eternity, or an opportunity to create an eternal negative. And when you'll think about it in these terms, says Al Rebbe, if you're willing to die for Kiddush Hashem, you're for sure willing to suffer the difficulties, the indignity, the self-shame of fighting with the Yetzer Hara.